door right there.
Run. With a head of steam moving to the outside his chin, Richie says it can't be done. Tony Shallen says turn on the reggae music. If you're gonna pass me, you're gonna do it high.
There is just one more lap remaining, and look how close Modoff is. He got the slipstream.
There we go. 2 laps to settle it in the Blue Emu Firecracker 400. Whatever you got to give it now. Back to green we go.
On the final lap, side by side, they still run wheel to wheel. Now, through the snake, the S as we go. Quaro edges ahead. Modoff is still there.
White flag, one more to go on the Daytona 250. Keplinger leads that lap. Who's going to lead the last one?
To the line, look at that. Dave Chapman's going to sit there on the outside final corner. Has he got it done?
Continuing to go side by side for the lead through 3 and 4, and they manage it safely. Now through 5.
And hunting for a way by
Side
it
by
all.
side.
Round 2 between Phil Sellinger and Gold.
To the outside. White flag is out side by side. They make contact in the turn number 1. Ooh, gets onto the grass now down to the inside. Andy T, a little bit of a wiggle and the perfect crossover there from Polly Parson to defend the position. Andy T totally sideways. They're still sideways going into Siberia.
And getting ready to cross, he goes around the outside, but it's not enough.
Eden's up the racetrack. Carlo down the track. A photo finish. James Eden wins it. It's still far abreast into the braking zone. This is sensational racing. And here comes Bowden. It's going to be a drag race to the end. That's side by side. Who gets it?
Williams tries to cover him off, but once again, pulling the over-under. Daniel Morad is going to win with a last quarter pass.
Newsom's coming up right there. By the corner. It's going to be narrow.
Mullender's going to come back at him. It's going to be a race to the line. Does he have enough? Down to it.
And they're wrecking in 3. Here comes Michael Cozy Jr. Michael Cozy Jr.'s got the lead.
He looks to the inside. Side by side for the race lead.
Good time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the beautiful Daytona International Speedway for round number 3 of the Full Send Friday series right here on the Racers Elite Network, powered by iRacing. I am Mike Taylor up here in the booth, and joining me once again is the man who lives for the chaos, hunts the danger, and somehow makes every lap feel like a full throttle heart attack. The walking adrenaline spike himself, Dakota LaRue. The high banks are glistening here. The sun has dropped, and the grip just enough to make these drivers brave, and just a little enough to make them nervous. This place will change your night in a heartbeat, and if history has taught us anything, it's going to be that Daytona does not care who you are. It'll crown a hero or chew you up without blinking. Dakota, are you ready for a night where the draft is savage, the moves are stupid fast, and the trouble can strike harder than a Florida thunderstorm?
Yes, sir, and especially with this being one of the fastest cars you could possibly get in for this type of track, it's going to make it very interesting, as we're going to have some high-flying action going here at Daytona International Speedway.
Definitely a lot of fun racing. We're going to go for 80 laps around this monster 2.5-mile racetrack, which is going to be just about 200 miles. And boy, are we in for a treat. The Friday Night Full Send Series will be coming live here to Daytona for the Beach Bash 80. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are underway with qualifying, as we're going to come over here and we're going to meet up with the number 53 machine. Let me just double check Training Paints, make sure that's up and running. Of Joe Bonner in his number 53 Toyota. Joe is somewhat new here, you know, as he's turning some laps here at Daytona. And he's kind of disappeared on us there. Here he comes out of turn number 4 into the tri-oval. He is going to move up to second with a whopping... Oh, wait. I just realized my overlay isn't working yet. You guys can see it right there on your screen. But I'm showing he put down a lap time of 48.22. There it goes, 48 points. 218. So pretty decent lap there for him. Let's do it this way right here. Jonathan Stidham and his number 42 machine. He's going to bring his car out. He's making his first lap now. And currently out on track with him is Dwayne Davis in the number 27 machine, as he has blinky issues. And Jack Kelly in that number 38 mellow yellow Chevrolet, who is still on his outlap. So he's still trying to get up to speed. Let's see here.
It kind of seems like a lot of these drivers were waiting until the absolute last minute to try to qualify here. As you know, we're already halfway through qualifying, as they did have 10 minutes today.
Yeah, as we take a look here at Aaron Roth in that number 57 machine. After one lap, Dwayne Davis, he's called it quits, it looks like. So let's come back up here, catch up with Jonathan Stidham. His last lap was a 48.800. He is just about 6.65 off your race sitter at the moment. As he's coming down to the start-finish line now. And that's going to put him up third with a 28.212. So a lot better lap time there on his second time around. Aaron Roth in that number 57 machine. He's coming down the back straightaway for his first time lap. Okay, am I not... That's why nothing's changing. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so Aaron Roth's going to come out of turn number 4 here and come to the start-finish line. He's looking to beat a 48.149. And he puts down a lap time of a 48.201. So that'll put him up third on the spot at the moment. Jack Kelly, he's coming down the front straightaway in his number 38 machine. And he's going to put down a lap time of a 48.241. So that's going to currently put him 8th. Brandon Honeycutt in his number 13 Pals machine. He's going to look to put down a quick time here as well. His first lap will be a 48.923. Aaron Roth coming to the start-finish line now. His second time is going to be 48.251. So still not able to better his lap time there. Jack Kelly, he's stopped. Brandon Honeycutt in that number 13 is coming down the back straightaway for his second lap now. As so far, we only have 12 drivers out here who have qualified.
Yeah, it's very surprising, as I do believe the 21 is out getting his out lap at the moment, or potentially doing his first lap right now as well.
Yes.
Maybe a lot of these drivers, feeling like there's a little bit of a storm coming, and they're opting to try to start in the back as far as possible.
Yep. Mike Hardy in that number 21. I think that's Budweiser right there. Put down a 48.204 as we have just a little bit over a minute remaining, so he will be able to come in and get his second lap. So if anybody comes out now, they will not be able to complete it. And while these drivers are finishing up here, let's go ahead and take a quick look here at our championship standings. No? Okay.
Oh, but SDK
There it goes.
is such a good program, but today is having a very rough time for me.
Yeah, it's not being nice for me at the moment either. Alright, so Mark Hardy, he's going to come out with a wicked lap time there with a 48.317. That's going to put him fourth on the board. And as of right now, that's going to be our last driver to put down a lap time.
It's amazing how close some of these drivers get to running the exact same times here.
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to go ahead and try this again. Push for the points here. There it goes. So Kensley Smith, he is on top of your point standings with 87 points. Rob Yost with 82 points. Terry Fennell up with 76 points. And tied for fourth, it's Aaron Roth and Kyle Hess. And William Skinner, Barry Nelson, David Davis, and Jack Kelly, Timothy Eisburn will round out your top 10. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and jump over to our... Oh my good lord. So as you can see there, so remember that thing that I had to have you do earlier with your thing?
Yeah.
I gotta do it with the grid.
Doing the thing.
Yeah, I gotta do it with the grid. Give me one moment here, guys. Luckily, this is going to take real quick. And this is
I
going
might
to be...
also need the code, for the room again.
Yep, I'll get that to you here in just one moment. Alright, so that's the starting grid. I don't want the starting grid. So... yeah. So... grid. Okay, so it's just
We
grid.
got a Let's Go Ryan Warp in the chat.
Woo!
We appreciate you stopping by and taking time to watch your favorite driver.
Absolutely. We love when people come in here to root for their favorite peeps. I know that's point standings. Give me 1 second, guys. I do apologize. Championship. That's what I'm... no. Yeah. While I'm trying to figure all this out, Dakota, do you want to run these guys down with our starting lineup real quick?
So, rounding out the front of the field is going to be Steve Vest and Corey Crowell. Third is going to be Aaron Ross. Fourth, Mike Hardy. Fifth, Jonathan Stidham. Sixth, Joe Bonnier. Seventh, Curry Wainscott. Eighth, Brandon Honeycutt. Ninth is going to be Truth Hope. 10th will be Jack Kelly. 11th will be Joshua Neal. 12th is going to be Barry Nelson. 13th will be Brendan Wilcox. 14th will be Ryan Wart. 15th, Austin Smith. 16th is going to be Brandon Puffenbarger. 17th, Andrew Teth. 18th, Rob. 19th is going to be Paul Hess. 20th, English Ryan Miller. 21st, Alan Carter. 22nd is going to be Mike Fudge. 23rd will be Kinsley Smith. Timothy Osborne. And 24th. 19th. Oh, my bad. 25th, Terry Fennell. 26th, Dwayne Davis. 27th is going to be Steve Casil. 28th to be Trevor. 29th is going to be J.V. Harrison. And rounding out your field in third, it's going to be Brett Bray.
Thank you. I apologize about that, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. Here we go. Live from Daytona International Speedway. Round number 3 for the Full Send Super Speedway Series. And we are green flag racing right here for the Beach Bash 80. As these drivers already make way down towards turn number 1. As these drivers get ready to... You know, they got to get these cars up to full speed, full song before anything can really happen here.
Yeah, but once they do get up to full song, these are you will see at a super speedway is they can reach around 220 plus, I believe.
Yeah, these cars can actually really go really fast here. As we're taking a look here at Wainscott down in the bottom corner over where it says speed zone, you can see these cars and their miles per hour. So right now, right there, it jumps up 202, 203 miles per hour. So here in this draft, you know, these guys are going to go really fast, and they just got to be really careful getting up into the corners with these race cars. Out of turn number 2, still side by side up here in the front. Joe Bonner, he is out front now in his number 53 Toyota. Corey Crowell in that number 20 machine. He's on the inside of Bonner as they will come out of turn number 4. And there's this pretty much a high-speed pace lap at this point still as we complete lap number 2. As we have one car all the way down to bottom. Might get a penalty here for unsafe pit exit, but that should be cleared from our race control. Your field now has kind of split up into two different two different fields at the moment. The first 17 cars are together, and then 18th through 30th have split into that second pack. But that might be by design. You know, these cars are reaching upward of 200 miles an hour, so these guys are probably playing it safe, as, you know, the current race cars that we use now, the next-gen cars, they don't go 200 miles an hour. You know, they get up there about 195, 198, but let me tell you what, these cars are totally different handling than what we are used to. As you see that number 26 of Brandon Wilcox, he's pushing that 38 out front as he's trying to help get him clear of Bonner, but not able to make it happen. As you see, Nelson still out high in that number 28 machine, still pushing hard, trying to keep him out front.
Yeah, and that outside line's doing such a wonderful job at, you know, maintaining the momentum. It's really hard to keep these cars on the bottom lane as fast as you're going. They kind of want to slide up, so I think you kind of got to, in a sense, lift a little bit. Not technically lift, but you got to be very easy on that bottom side, especially when you're pushing. You see the 53 fading back towards the middle of the pack here. And we are still side by side for your race lead. It's going to be between the 28 of Barry Nelson and the 38 of Jack Kelly at the moment, as they are being pushed by Brandon and Brandon. And that outside line is just doing such a good job with the momentum off the corners at the moment. You can see the 28 is going to be able to drop down for another 38.
Yeah, Nelson, he's looking to... He's probably going to try to manage both lanes here as they dive here into turn number 1. You know, it's something that I've seen Nelson do on several occasions, you know, jump between that inside and outside line. But as of right now, Puffenbarger, he's got such a good push here from that number 82 of Joshua Neal. And he's just completely, you know, taking this race into his own hands here. And he's pushed Puffenbarger all the way out. But they're going to still stay around that outside lane instead of dropping down in front of Nelson in that 28.
Yeah, something that doesn't surprise me is we got Kinsley Smith already up 18 spots in the
Yeah, no surprise there whatsoever. He really knows how to get the job done in that number 15 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. You know, as we've said every single week, you know, he knows how to get around super speedways. It's going to be very interesting. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting when in 2 weeks, you know, when we come back after our Thanksgiving break, these guys are going to get into their mini stocks around Charlotte. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Kinsley Smith can do in a mini stock at a quote-unquote super speedway.
It may as well be a super speedway for them things. It's like a mega speedway for them. And things are very slow.
Oh, yeah. They may be slow, but, man, are they a ton to play with in the draft. As you see them running 3 wide back here with Truth Hope, Mike Hardy in that 21, and Matt Mettler in that 311 machine. Those guys are 3 wide over there, and Corey Crowell now involved up here. But the 53, he's starting to fall back in that middle lane as he has absolutely zero help.
Looks like they're struggling to get it back going.
That outside lane is definitely starting to fall apart as you see that inside lane, you know, starting to try to get themselves reformed. As we see that number 28 of Barry Nelson jump to the outside, right there in front of that 83, and a lot of pushing coming from Rob
on the outside.
Yeah, Rob Yost having to try to push a slower 28 there of Nelson. That's just showing you what the speed difference is, you know, even if you're just jumping out to change lanes, you know, you lose so much speed and momentum. The cars behind you, they have to lift, you know, not to kill you from behind.
Yeah, you jump out a lane, it's like hitting a brick wall, man, you know. You get all that extra ground and kills your momentum.
Yeah, these...
Oh, I'm seeing somebody 37.
Yeah, these cars, they absolutely, you know, with the new Cup car, there's a pocket of air in between yourself and the car in front of you. And, you know, it's very dominant in the new next-gen car where you can make that kind of move, jump up in front of another guy, and by the time they get to you, they're already slowed down without really having to lift much. But with these things, it doesn't create that big pocket like the next-gen cars are. So these guys aren't used to, you know, as silly as it sounds, they're not used to these old race cars, you know, and their draft techniques, because we don't really race these machines much anymore. And so it's a whole new learning curve again. And you got to remember, there's some things you can't do with this car that you can with the next one.
I, for one, have not run a single lap on these cars. I can't speak very much on the matter, but I have watched plenty of races.
Yeah, so I remember back when these cars were released. It happened to be the week of the Brickyard 400, one of iRacing special events. And I bought the car that morning of the event, And I ended up going out and winning the race in the new Chevrolet Z1 Camaro, which is pretty freaking cool. So these cars are an absolute blast. As you can see, big movement there. Trouble. The 38's around. The 311 of Matt Metler, he's around. He's involved. Jack Kelly, he's involved. Brandon Honeycutt still drivers spinning and crashing down here on the. Oh, the 27 late to the party, but he wanted to be part of it as he slams that number. It looks like that's the 20. No, that's 17 of Brett Bray on the back straightaway.
And that was just a case of, you know, not having enough time to check up. There's, like you were saying, these cars really don't slow down very easy as you're letting out of the throttle because they do run slightly different.
As we are waiting for the track crew to get down to that number 17 of Brett Bray as he still sits up against the wall there. Oh, he's finally able to get that machine fired, and he will start to pull away, but he will be crab walking. So let's go ahead and go back, take a look, and see what happened to bring out this caution. Oh, let's try to get a good look here. So I know the 15 got a good push there, and that brought him up into Truth Hoke in that number 55 machine. The 38, oh no, that wasn't Truth Hoke, that was the 26. Yeah, so that'll be the 26. Where are you at? There you are. Yeah, as you see, the 311 of Matt Metler in that Taco Bell machine. He's going around the 38 machine. He's going around here as well. And then Dwayne Davis at that number 27. I don't know why he...
I'm gonna be honest, and I hate to be like this, but that was just a bad case of not doing anything at all. He should straight drove through somebody.
Yeah, I mean, he had plenty of time to, you know, to avoid, and that was just...
Slow down.
Yeah, that right there, that was just a case of not slowing down. You know. Let's see here. Jack Kelly, he was involved here as well. Let's ride on board here with Jack Kelly, as he was one of the first cars to get punted here. Ugh. Absolute craziness. As we go ahead and jump back live here. Brett Bray coming back down pit road here. Everybody's coming down pit road already. Got some tires on their machines. Let me take a look. Pit time. No, a lot of them. Okay, so it looks like there's a good mixture between of just fuel and people who got tires. We still got 67 laps left, coming to 66. So I think these guys got, what, 2 tires?
Let me double check to make sure here. Alright, we have 80% fuel, 1 fast repair, and unlimited tire sets.
Alright, so I mean, since the tires are there, let's go use them.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be my thought exactly, especially you never know when you're going to have another caution, right?
Yeah, as we do have takers this time around as well. Alan Carter, he's coming down. Brandon Puffenbarger, Austin Smith, Joshua Neal coming down this time. So a lot of these drivers coming down, and Trevor Fetzig in that 7-Eleven machine, he's coming down to top off on fuel. And that's what it looks like a lot of these drivers. No. I think they just drove through to fall to the back. Let me go.
Yeah, no, I've done that several times. I did a race Monday at Iowa in NASCAR 25, and every time we had a caution, I just dropped to the back because, you know, a lot of people are having issues keeping the car from getting loose there.
Yeah, definitely.
Keeping me out of trouble.
Yeah, definitely at the... I have a rule when I race these kind of races. If I'm not in the top 10 in qualifying, I will start from pit road. And then for the first half, I will do exactly what we just saw with those other drivers. Come down, let the field go by. And if I'm really not liking it, I will go to my pit stall, and I will wait for the last person to get out of the pits.
Yeah, I've done that. Plenty. It comes in handy, especially like some of these tracks like Bristol and stuff, where there's a lot of wrecks, and these super speedway type races where, you know, there's probably going to be another big one. You're still going to have a chance to get towards the front of the field as the race is nowhere near over.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are coming back. Green flag racing, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Hardy, Joe Bonner, Aaron Roth, Terry Fennell, they will lead the field to the green. And Mike Hardy gets a good jump there. He got a little too far out there. And that train on the outside of Joe Bonner, Terry Fennell, and the 98 there of Andrew Teft are a little bit closer than everybody else. So they might have a better run coming out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. And they're going to clear the inside lane here. Not by much, but it might be just enough for the first 2, maybe 3 drivers there to pull down. 53, he will pull down and take over the inside lane from Mike Hardy. As Terry Fennell, he gets left out high and dry, but he's got Andrew Teft around the outside with him in that RCA Ford Mustang. So having Teft behind you is not a bad deal either.
Yeah, that outside line kind of disintegrated after that restart, but we are starting to see some people get up there and starting to work together. We see, you know, 3 cars up there at the moment, and a few more coming.
Yeah, and take a look at that 5th car on the outside. It's going to be that number 15 of Kensley Smith. He's going to go ahead and start making his way back up to the front. As you see the 21 there pushing that 53, trying to separate each other, but it's not working out for them, as they can't get a good run to separate these 2 from the rest of the field. As they exit turn number 4, heading down, a lot of movement, trying to use that side draft, which these cars can really do. You know, that side draft is absolutely phenomenal in these race cars. And you can actually feel a true difference with these race cars, as we now have a battle for the race lead. Andrew Teft out front, Terry Fennell to the outside on turn number 2, as they will fly down the back straightaway here once again. Fennell looking to take it over, and Matt Metler in that number 311 Taco Shell, or Shield, Taco Bell, 311. As they will exit now, they will go to the inside in front of Andrew Teft. And here comes that number 15 of Kensley Smith on the outside, getting pushed by Yost. As we continue to have a little bit of radio communication errors with a couple of these drivers. But right behind Yost, you got that number 42 of Jonathan Stidham. As they exit turn 2, and Andrew Teft, he will jump up in front of Kensley. And Kensley and Teft, they will start to draft with each other, as you see that 311 continuing to have radio connection errors with that machine. 2 names that you absolutely do not want together at a super speedway is going to be Kensley and Smith. And guess what? They're out front now.
Andrew Teth and Kinsley Smith teammates who got together, hooked up, and Kinsley Smith's such a great pusher, so that's probably going to be a power combo up there in the front right at the moment.
Oh, absolutely, and Rob Yost has finally gotten down to the inside as well, and he'll take over that third spot. A lot of movement out of that number 53 Tide machine of Joe Bonner, as he's trying to keep it nice, cool, calm, and collected here as these drivers continuing to march around the speedway. Your top 6 or so are now single file, but everybody else is double wide at the moment.
Yes, we do got a little small group behind them, kind of just chilling and doing their own little thing, waiting for the next wreck to happen, it appears. And maybe not the worst. We still have a pit stop and possibly another caution on the way.
Oh, definitely. You know, and one of the things, you know, with Super Speedway racing is you never know when a caution is going to attack. And so it's all literally a game of chess here at Super Speedways. So every Friday night, you know, we may be called the Full Send series, but I prefer the game of chess series because it's always going to be a game of chess in the draft.
Yeah, and I will say these drivers are being a lot calmer than they were last week, as we did see a lot of 3-wide action last week, but they are putting on a hell of a show and keeping it very clean here. So we still got a lot of side-by-side action, especially around the middle of the pack.
Yeah, for sure. You know, these guys definitely have calmed down. We now have 2 distinct packs. The top 14 right here in this first pack. And then we jump back here to Brendan Wilcox and that number 26. He's leading this pack back here with Steve Vest, Kyle Hess, Mike Fudge, Puffenbarger, Austin Smith, Joshua Neal, Corey Crowell, and Brett Bray. These guys are all, you know, they were running single file, but these guys got to get themselves sorted out quick if they want to have a chance to catch that front pack again.
Yeah, as that 53 is still trying to get the car on the outside lane, but he's going to have to you see the 21 get a little loose off of the corner, I believe, as he did slide up and almost make contact with the 53.
That outside lane has dwindled down to just 3 drivers. It's going to be the 53 of Joe Bonner, the 42 of Jonathan Stidham, and I believe that's Truth Hoke back there in that number 55 machine. As they continue to run that outside lane, you know, running the top those 3. So as of right now, everybody's running around the inside, and they're not really losing anything at the moment, but they're not gaining either. So I guess they're right at that point where it's that sweet spot, you know, where they can continue to run, you know, side by side, but they're not really going to make any movements just yet, as that second pack has now fallen back 2 seconds. So those guys back there really need to get themselves straightened out in order to really catch this front pack again.
They should be able to do so. I mean, this first pack here isn't really pushing too terribly hard right now. Everyone's pretty much spaced out for the most part and kind of just relaxing. You know, on a little Sunday drive as we are crossing the line for lap 25 this time.
Guys really trying to make something now around that outside, as that 4th driver has joined, but still out in the lead in that number 53 is Joe Bonner, trying to make something work on the outside, but he's just not able to make anything happen just yet, as he's struggling to get any kind of momentum behind him. And everybody pitted back on lap 13, so we're just about, I want to say we're probably just about halfway through this fuel run, as these guys may be only able to go about 27 laps or so.
strategy you think the driver's going to take here? Because, you know, I don't know how important tires are on these cars. I know, like, the 87s, if you don't get tires, it's very hard to drive those things and keep them in the lane you want. And I kind of feel like these cars might be the same way with the speeds that they do reach.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, as we now only have those 2 cars on the outside. You know, these guys are going to have to try to work their way down on the inside, or they're going to need to fall all the way to the back. But now in just 2 laps, that second pack is now being led by Brandon Puffenbarger, and they've fallen back to 3 seconds back. So I'm going to jump back to those guys real quick, as, you know, as I start talking about them. Austin Smith in that number 23 gave that number 5 a really good shove, almost turned him on the back straightaway. So he's trying to really hard, you know, to get these guys back up with the rest of the field. But in order to do that, they're going to really have to get their snake more straight and start making it around this speedway a lot smoother. As we see more movement up here in this front package, side by side. We do have 4 cars now on the outsides, being led by Steve. Was it Castle? Because I've been saying Castle.
I assume it's Cassie.
Yeah. Cassell. Steve, how do you say your name? As we see the 38 up in the wall, and that's going to bring the 53 around him in the middle lane. So he's going to draw back. Well, big movement there, as they will fly down this back straightaway. Oh, big push there by that number 53 machine.
Yeah, and I'm listening in on the radio, and it seems like we're having a little bit of issues with it's causing a couple of drivers to get a little iffy.
Yeah, definitely hard to, you know, especially here at a restrictor plate. You know, it's definitely iffy once you start having radio connectivity issues. As you see the 38 finally making his way into that single file lane here for this front lead pack here. And it is currently being led by Andrew Teff, Kensley Smith out front still, and Rob Yost Jr. He's still doing a pretty good job in that number 83 machine.
Yeah, he's sitting in a very good spot. You know, P3 just the perfect place to be able to attack or defend or anything if you need to possibly get around for a race win. But we'll have to see where he ends up settling at once we get closer to the end of the race.
The number 83 machine of Rob Yost absolutely giving me throwback to Cartoon Network and Scooby-Doo and everything else like that. Let me tell you what, just such a throwback on that number 83 machine. So far, everybody's pretty much settled down at the moment. You know, no one's really trying to... Oh, no, we have a caution. Yellow flag is out. Brandon Honeycutt? No.
Looks like it's going to be Joseph. Trying to find it.
You said Joseph, so Joe Bonner? Yeah, it very well could have been Joe, as there's a lot of damage on that number 53 Tide machine. I guess one way to find out. Let's go back, take a look. As he's running side by side with that number 1. Yeah, he got turned heading down into turn 1, the 38 up into the wall, the 53 up in the wall, and that will bring out our second caution. So it kind of looks like a little bit of a, I'm trying to move down, but I don't want to let you in.
A little bit of a not clear moment, but luckily, I mean, that could have been a lot worse of an incident. He did a hell of a job to keep that thing from going nose into the wall.
Yeah.
And it kind of looked like he got up into it and realistically only scraped it. So I don't imagine he's got too much damage to his hot rod at the moment.
Yeah. I'm just worried about that number 38 machine, what kind of damage he may have on that right front tire. Dwayne Davis, he's sitting backwards now back here on the back straightaway. And Barry Nelson here as well. Let's take a look to see what happened here as they come out of turn 2. Oh, just the field's all right there out of turn 2, and he just locked it up and hold on to it as Barry Nelson comes almost to a complete stop to avoid it.
I'm trying to get a good angle of the 38 to look and see what kind of damage he might have, because I do see sparks.
Yeah, this is going.
Oh yeah, he's got very heavy right front damage. His right front is completely cambered in.
Oh yeah, we can see it right here on this camera. You can see how one is outward, the rear is inward. But ladies and gentlemen, we're coming down pit road now. Ugh! Into the inside wall. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Hopefully he still has a faster pair.
Yeah, hopefully, yes. We have a lot of drivers now coming out of pit road.
Unfortunately, that might be the end of the 38's day, as it does not appear he has a faster pair left.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate there for that 38 machine. It does look like he's not sitting in the car at the moment. Let's see if we can get a better look into his car. No, he's definitely sitting down there. It looks like the 13 sitting down here as well. Brandon Honeycutt, he's getting service done on his car at the moment. Kirby Wainscott, somebody we haven't really talked much about today so far in that Kentucky Fried Chicken number 10 machine. Looks like he's getting service. And then that number 53 machine, as he pulls away now.
Yeah, some of these drivers a little bit of heavy damage, especially on their right fronts is where most of it seems to be. Definitely want to get that fixed as soon as possible, as that's going to allow for better aerodynamics.
Yeah, definitely. As you see there in the back, you know, your pace truck getting ready to cross start finish line. Kirby Wainscott and Brandon Honeycutt, he's going to leave pits now. Yeah, looks like he's going to be able to get the wave by here. Well, here comes Barry Nelson, that number 28 machine. He's going to get service on his car. Probably just a quick top off here in fuel.
Yes, they do have an 80% fuel load. I mean, I'm interested to see how far they can stretch this fuel here.
Yeah, we got 46 laps to go. You can go approximately 42-ish on a full tank. So that's probably going to, yeah, I think they're going to still have to come down at least one more time.
You'd be surprised at how many laps of fuel you could save in 40 laps, man.
Not when you're the race leader.
I mean, that is very true, but keep in mind, we have seen tomfoolery before, all right? I keep bringing it up. I will never get over that dude cutting his truck off, running a full lap without any power, flipping it back on, coming into the last corner, and passing for the lead. Never.
Yeah, that's just absolutely crazy what he was able to do. And that was trucks over in Atlanta on that new pavement, so I don't know how he did it.
Lights are off on the pace truck.
Yeah, and we are getting ready to go back green flag racing. Matt Metler, Mike Hardy, Kensley Smith, Truth Hope will lead the field into the United Rentals restart zone, and we are green flag racing here once again at Daytona International Speedway. Matt Metler out to a decent run, but still side by side there in that second. We have one movement in the back. One
Looks
car
like
up
somebody
to
hit
the
the
wall.
wall on the outside.
Yeah, not exactly sure who that was. I would say it's probably the Iceberg. Possibly. Yeah, I'm not sure who that was. That might have been the 57 there of Aaron Roth. Yeah, it's the 57 of Aaron Roth getting up into the wall onto that restart. Definitely something that you don't want to see there as we take a look at these cars coming out of turn number 4 here from the spectator camera view. We want to thank our couple fans here for giving us their bird's eye view as these drivers come down into turn number 1. And this is what John Smith is seeing up over in the turn 1 grandstands.
So I did go back and look. It don't look like nobody missed a gear, but it looked like the 57 just got such a better start than the 1 and tried to go 3 wide on the outside after they crossed the start-finish line. And unfortunately, just not enough room up there.
Definitely very unfortunate there for them for sure. As the field will come out of turn number 4 back to the start-finish line. As you see them climb up the bankings once again here into turn number 1. Mike Hardy, that number 21 Budweiser Chevrolet, doing a phenomenal job. Matt Metler up 19 positions in that number 311. Kensley Smith up 21 positions. JB Harrison up 24 positions. And looking at it, he looks like he so far is our biggest mover of this race in that McDonald's number 90 Ford Mustang. So really good run for these guys. And once again, we do have 2 different fields, you know.
Yeah, I'm looking at the second pack here, and I don't think Kirby Wainscott needs to be the one leading this pack, as he does have quite a bit of right front damage.
Yeah, that's definitely something that these guys are going to want to start talking about, possibly getting Barry Nelson or maybe even Steve Vest in that 06 out in front.
But then again, it could be playing into their strategy of saving fuel at the same time, so I'd say that plays up right there.
Yeah, Kirby Wainscott leading that second pack. They're not going to go very far. You know, as we take a look here out of turn number 4, Kirby Wainscott's only hitting about 196, 197. And as we jump, you know, even to somebody else, and who's up there, that 82 machine of Joshua Neal. You know, those guys were able to drive around him on the outside.
Yeah, and I believe the 13 behind him of Brandon Honeycutt also has a little bit of front end damage. So these guys on the inside are going to have to try to work their way around these two. Oh, we got big contact in the back.
Oh, the 37 around the 27 is involved as well. The 06 hard impact into that inside safer barrier. That's going to be Steve Vest in that 06 machine. Brandon he's not involved here. Trevor Fetzig not involved. Definitely very unfortunate for those drivers back there. as Dwayne Davis in that 27 is once again involved in a incident. Let's go ahead and go back, take a look, see what happened. Oh, it started out in front.
Yeah, it looked like the 3 tried to get around the 06, and they made a slight bit of contact, and then I believe that's the 27 just was not able to get checked up in time and drove into both of them there.
I'm trying to find out where the contact started. Steve Vest. Yep, so the 37 went to go to the outside, so that would be Alan Carter. And the 06, I guess he didn't realize he was there. And that sent both of those drivers into the outside wall. And here comes Dwayne Davis just piling in. I really shouldn't, but I'm really curious. We're going to ride on board with Dwayne Davis.
I have so many cameras now, I can't even find my cockpit view.
Just hard impact there for Dwayne Davis in that 27 machine. As the field, they will come back down pit road, and I guess we're going to start to see, you know, what's going to be the game plan. It looks like the 15, he's only coming down to get fuel only. So he's going to get fuel, and he's going to pull out now.
Yeah, I'm actually riding, not to continue on about the race, but I am on board with the 6 car, you know, just watching here, and it kind of looks like when the guy got on his outside and just sucked the car up to him, as, you know, he's holding a straight wheel, or even turning a little bit left, actually, and he just sucked him right up into the wall.
Right. I absolutely love these views that we're getting with our drone cameras here in the pits. As we still got the 06, the 20, the 10, 82, 23, the 5, 83, 711, still down here on pit road. Not a 3-year-old.
Listen here, bud, alright? You let that 3-year-old live their best life.
Alright, the field is starting to double up here, so we're going to go back to green flag with 37 laps to go. Yeah, it's going to be...
I think it's going to be about time for things to start picking up here, and we're about to see a little bit more action-packed racing as these laps are winding down, and I'm very excited to see so in these cars. As you know, I got a feeling we're going to see faster speeds than we can see
That was a view. about to get intense. Hopefully we won't see two packs again. We're going to see everybody running side by side and, you know, really trying to do what they can to get to the front here in the closing laps. Anyway, Ryan Warp, Joe Bonner, Matt Metler, Kensley Smith will lead them to the green flag. And don't look now, Andrew Teft and Kyle Hessen, that number 86 machine. He's been able to sneak his way here into the top 6. As the pace truck is off, and we are green flag racing once again here at Daytona. A really good jump. Yeah, look at that jump on that outside lane for Joe Bonner and Kensley Smith as they started making headway. But he's going to fall back a little bit here as that 45 finally gets up to full song. And Matt Metler is right on the back bumper of that Monster Energy number 45 as Mark will get pushed to about a half a car length in front. But Metler's not done. He's going to see what he can do about trying to get him clear. But that 15 is still glued to the back bumper of Bonner as they head up here into turn number 3. Still side by side for the race lead.
A lot more aggressive driving here, as I don't believe these drivers have anything to save.
Yeah, that's a very good possibility as we go 3 wide for your race lead. That number 53 of Bonner, you getting all left out to dry, hung out to dry on the middle lane, but he will get up right behind Kyle Hessen, that top side, and they will try to reform themselves and get going together here. As we got word that Brandon Honeycutt has entered down into the pits. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing there, but he's down getting some service on his machine. The field now still running side by side at 200 miles an hour coming here through the tri-oval here at Daytona International Speedway. And they're quickly coming up on Brandon Honeycutt into that number 13 machine, as he's going to have to try to blend in with these drivers here on the back straightaway. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of movement these drivers will take as they approach Brandon here. But he will go ahead and stay down on the apron, and he'll let the cars pass safely on the up on the racetrack itself.
Yeah, it's a pretty smart move out of him, as you know, he's not really nowhere close to being over speed. Outside, taking over the lead as they come on a 4 this time, being pushed by Kyle Hess, and they are doing such a wonderful job on that outside line at the moment.
Yeah, definitely that outside lane absolutely making a good head of steam at the moment. Kensley Smith and Kyle Hess, they have cleared the inside, but they haven't been able to bring Bonner with them just yet, so it's going to be very interesting to see how long Kensley Smith's going to stay on that outside before he decides to jump low.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if Joe's going to try to dive down to the inside of him before too long, as they did leave him out to dry earlier. He might remember that.
Yeah, the 21 of Hardy, he went ahead and jumped down in front of Ryan Warp as they headed down into turn number 3. So he will now lead that inside lane to see what kind of charge he can get out of that inside lane. As we have the 50 machine of Terry Fennell up into the wall here in the tri-oval. But that didn't slow him a lot as they now come diving down here into the high banks once again.
Yeah, that outside line's just looking absolutely phenomenal right now as they're getting such good runs off. But, oh, man, the 50 all over the back of the 53 and has to shake up there as Andrew Test going to send him 3 wide for about that 6th spot.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure if Andrew Teff meant to do that or not, but I think he possibly got forced to go 3 wide there. But luckily they were able to... Mel, we have contact here in the back. Truth Hope sideways on the straightaway as he will come to a stop right here on the outskirts of turn number 4. And he will go ahead and put that AC Delco Chevrolet into gear and pull away, but that will bring out our caution. Truth Oak, he is crab walking, but he's going to go ahead and stay out and he's going to see what he can do. Let's go back here, take a look, and see what happened exactly.
Kind of looks like a case of ping pong.
Yeah. So it looks like Truth Hook kind of went down a little bit. Didn't realize how down he went. And with how close the 38 got to him, that took the air right off of his spoiler. And what good car control out of that number 1 machine. Unfortunately, that number 17 of Brett Bray had absolutely nowhere to go. So once again, a very hard contact there for Brett Bray and that number 17 Ford Mustang. But as you see here, Truth Hope doing everything just right, holding down that those tires, and he will come to a complete stop. But a little bit further on, Brett Bray, he did have a little bit of issues here. Not sure if the car was just not drivable, but he decided to go ahead and pull it off here to the side. Yeah, he decided to just go ahead and pull it off to the side, but we are back live as we see green flag pit stops once again taking shape. So far, Dakota, we're only working our 4th caution, and overall we have seen some phenomenal racing here at Daytona.
Yeah, I think the race has been pretty decent for the most part, but we just had a few hiccups here and there. It was, typical of super speedway racing.
Yeah, definitely, that's just the nature of super speedway racing, absolutely. And
you never know when the caution will come, as this is just a very unpredictable track. As everyone's got like hundreds of things going through their mind, and you never know what move someone might make.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that, and then you got to look at it this way: you're going 200 miles an hour. Any small little mistake gets amplified by like a lot, just because based off of the speed.
Oh yeah, and I know that we make this comment like almost every single time we're on a super speedway. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're just metal to the, the metal to the, or the pedal to the metal, and all you do is turn to left." And it's like, it's doing this kind of racing takes a lot of talent. And it's not as easy as these guys make it look, running 2 wide here at Daytona, let alone when they go 3 wide.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a very good amount of skill in super speedway racing, but there is also a lot of luck in it, as well as you gotta hope and pray that when others make a mistake, you're not around that area.
Yeah, definitely. As we see that 17, Brett Bray, he is still sitting down on pit road. Brandon Honeycutt, he came out of the pits, and so he's starting to march his way around this racetrack to catch to the back end of this field. Jack Kelly, I believe he may have loaded it up for the day, I think.
Oh man, it's getting go time with these things.
Yeah, we got 29 laps to go when we take that green flag. It's still over, still just about
I mean, we still got a
60
long way to go
miles.
before we get to the, just hold the throttle down and pray portion
Yeah.
of the race. But it's going to start getting a little more aggressive. These drivers might not necessarily want to get in first, but they are going to be, wanting to get up within the top 10 to be in a good position for the closing laps.
Yeah, definitely. And, 29 laps here at Daytona is still a very long time, as the field will come out of turn number 4. And we are back, green flag here at Daytona. Barry Nelson in that number 28 machine gets a decent run. He will clear that outside lane. And here comes that 23 of Austin Smith. Somebody we haven't really talked much about today, as he's up in that second spot on the inside lane. But here comes that outside lane trying to march their way back, just not able to do it with that number 82 machine on the outside. Just not able to make anything happen just yet, but he does have Kensley Smith right behind him. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time where the dogs are starting to attack. And just watch, Kensley Smith, he's going to be your top dog to watch here, as he is on that inside lane with that fourth car on the inside lane, as we now have 27 laps to go here at Daytona.
Yeah, now things are starting to get a little heated in the voice chat, so we might see a slight bit of aggression coming. But these drivers are doing such a wonderful job at the moment, keeping it pretty steady. Get a better run, as it doesn't really look like the 5 is pushing too hard to push the 82 at the moment. So I'm kind of wondering if they're just kind of hanging around and chilling.
Yeah, they don't want to hang around and chill for too long, as that inside lane is starting to pull more in front, as they are falling back to that 6th car in line on the inside of that number 57 of Aaron Roth. So these guys really got to start getting something figured out, but we have now an opening after that 2nd car in line, as the machine of that 311 of Matt Metler, I'm sorry, not Matt Metler, Austin Smith, he decided to jump to the outside here. Is it?
Kingsley Smith in the 15.
Yeah, Kingsley Smith now pushing out Kyle Hess in that 86 machine. So Kyle Hess, he went to the outside. Matt Metler went to the outside. And Aaron Roth, no. I'm sorry, Austin Smith in that 23. He went to the outside, I believe. And now he's starting to just make everything.
Yeah, what the heck happened to the inside line there? Them 3 blew the doors off of everybody, then everything just disintegrated back here. So we got like almost a 5-car pull away here.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened to that inside lane, but that number 28, Barry Nelson, he's trying to hold that inside lane together, as you see the number 98 of Andrew Teff now jumping to the inside to try to help. But back behind them, we're 3 wide with that Tide machine, as everybody's starting to get nice and tight back there. It's going to be that number 5, the 53, and now the 83, the 20. They're all running 3 wide back here. Absolute craziness now with 20 coming to 25 laps to go this time by. As we see that inside lane of Austin Smith in that number 23 machine, trying to make something happen on that inside lane.
Man, don't you be cursing me to do that now.
I'm sorry. And that was actually Mike Hardy in the 21, not
That's worse. That is literally worse than the commentator curse, Council and Austin Hill.
Look, I'm sorry. I apologize, Austin. I love you, dude. Now let's go get this thing moving. But here comes that inside lane being pushed by Andrew Teff. Mike Hardy now up in that 4th spot. Matt Metler, he will jump down in front of Hardy, as they will now attack on the inside of Kensley Smith in that 2nd spot. And now that inside lane has reformed just like that in half a lap.
Yeah, they finally got everything sorted out. Started making some progress here. As you're going to see Matt Metler try to get on the inside of the 86 for the lead here on this, and they're going to be drag racing down the back stretches. The 21's getting him a really big push, as you see Matt Metler getting further on that inside lane.
Matt Mettler all over the place on the backstretch, thanks to that good push there by Mike Hardy, as they will drive through turns 3 and 4 here. And the top 3, they will clear just about that high line, as Hess is now trying to make his way back to the top side of Andrew Teft, but not. Oh, there they go. Right now they're on the outside of Andrew Teft, and now they've got their eyes set here on Mike Hardy in that number 21 machine.
Yeah, and Kyle Hess and Kingsley Smith on the outside are trying their best, but they really want the car to get a little closer to them, as that'll help with the draft a little bit. But you see Andrew Teft, it looks like might be checking up to possibly let them down. Oh, never mind on my statement, as you see him pull right back up to the back of that 21 car.
Yeah, I think because that 21 and 311 locked up there, they were able to pull away. Oh, trouble!
Big Rick in the back. That was a very hard impact.
Joe Bonner not able to get his machine refired, as we did have multiple cars come down pit road to avoid that one. Let's go back, take a look, and see what just happened. Where are we at? There we are. So it all started back here with that 53. He tried to come down into that low lane, but didn't realize that the 50 was there of Fennel, and that just tossed him back into the outside lane. Man, so much going on here. The 5 checked up, and look at that number 40. Who is that? The Valvoline car, the 45, I believe. Is that the 45?
That'd be Ron.
Oh, no, that's Steve Vest. He got launched off the back bumper there of someone. Let's come back and watch it.
Yeah, it looks like he got launched off the 20 car. And definitely not what these drivers want to see, is I'm pretty sure a lot of these drivers have had to use a faster pair early in this race. And, you know, it's getting crunch time. This is not where you want to start having issues and get involved in any kind of incidents.
Yeah, when we do come back, green flag racing, we're going to have just about 19 laps to go. So it's going to be very interesting here for the remaining part of this race, as we have drivers coming down to top off on field.
I don't know who just took the lucky dog, but holy cow. The 13. Up in the wall trying to get around Mike Hardy, and wow.
That's crazy.
By the skin of his teeth, barely missed him.
Man, so far we've seen a really good race, and we've seen a couple decent-sized wrecks, but I don't think we've seen any wreck with more than 6-7 cars involved, so it's still possible we could possibly still have the big one.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, you know, we got Smith, Teft, and Osborne. You know, 4th, 5th, and 6th here. If they could somehow get to working together, as these guys race around each other all the time and know how each other drive, they might be making a charge up to this first position.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely keeping my eye on Eisburn in that number 92 Target machine. You know, he's had a very phenomenal week so far, and he's looking to once again capitalize here at Daytona. You know, back on Monday, I believe it was, you know, he ran a black Target machine and came home second. So he's looking, you know, to have a really good ending to his week here for Racers Elite here at Daytona.
Yes, now I believe I covered Wednesday with you, and wasn't Rob the winner of Wednesday? I could be wrong.
Yes, I believe it was Rob Yost. Yeah. You know what? Let me go back and take a look. I can take a really quick look at that, because
we're going to be crossing the line with 19 to go as we go green flag here. Matt Metler's going to be leading us to the green with Mike Hardy on the outside, Kyle Hess in third, and Kinsley Smith in fourth. And, you know, I would be very glad to be Mike Hardy, as Kinsley Smith is such a good pusher to be on that outside lane with. But the pace lights are off on the pace track this time, and we will be going in the restart zone.
yeah, I'm not seeing the results here, but that's all right. But we're going back green flag racing. The pace truck is off. It is in the hands of Matt Metler, Mike Hardy, as we are going back green flag racing. Matt Metler on the inside, Hardy on the outside. As they start moving, Metler once again still having radio connection issues, so Mike Hardy, he's going to be able to pull out better with Kensley right there to his back bumper. But it's going to be hard for that number 86 of Kyle Hess to push that 311, because, you know, with somebody blinking like that, you know, that can cause what we call net code. And with that being said, you know, you don't want to net code into somebody. And that right there, whoa! Kensley Smith just absolutely moved the 21 out of his way, as they will now go 3 wide up here into turn 3. As you see, Timothy Eisberg still hanging out. Oh, we have trouble. The 50 of Fennel around. He will save it, as he's going to back that machine down onto pit road. That was a wrecked car without wrecking. What an incredible save by Terry Fennel in that 50 machine. He's going to go ahead and come on down to the pits and top up on fuel as this field comes out of turn number 2. Still, Matt Metler second in line with Mike Hardy leading.
Yeah, I just want to take a moment to shout out a couple people in chat. We got Jordan saying, let's go Sally. Let's go number 53. We got Paul going, let's go Ryan Ward. We got another one in here for Ryan Ward of Mr. Steve. And we got Jordan saying, let's go Jordan. Appreciate y'all stopping by and taking your time to tune into this race. We got the 5 car up in the wall, and they are currently 3 wide for about that 8th position back.
Yeah, coming back here to catch up with that number 45 machine who was just in that 3 wide situation. He is currently up in that 9th spot, trying to make his way back towards the front. We did see Ryan Warp, you know, near the front a couple times. So he's no stranger of making his way up here. As you see, he did lead 2 laps here today at Daytona. So there's still some time left for him to make his way to the front, but currently he's staying back in that 10th position on the inside lane here.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot more moves happening across the line for 16 to go. We're seeing a lot harder pushes, as you can see on that inside line with that 19-21 moment.
Matt Metler absolutely out front and in control of this race at the moment. As you see, 2 cars coming out of the pits, and they're going to rejoin here on the back straightaway. As you see, Tim Eisburn right on the back bumper of Mike Hardy, trying to get those guys to move better on that inside lane. as he is now pulling alongside Kensley Smith for that third spot. And the 57 of Aaron Roth needs to stay right there on his back bumper to help push him further. But we have trouble here on the front straightaway. One car is absolutely backwards up against the wall. Who is that?
It's like Kirby Wainscott.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, Kirby. I was about to say don't look now, but here comes Kirby. And the next thing you see him turn around backwards.
Yeah, look at it right now. It looks like there was a little bit of contact in front of him and he's checking up. I did have to rewind it a little further back.
Yeah, I saw that. As we slow it down here just a little bit. That number 5 machine to the outside. And Wayne Scott, he just kind of drifted up, though, right in front of that number 5 machine. And then he just got a little bit of help there from the 23, I believe it was, to help him face completely the other way. And the 20 comes out and hits that outside wall a ton. But I was getting ready to say what a good day here for Kirby Wainscott to get his race turned around.
Yeah,
not like this.
Kirby here. I'm requesting a Kirby paint scheme for the next race I broadcast, sir. I see it in your profile picture here, and I would like you to make a car.
All right, Kirby, that's the request, buddy.
You can make a Super Smash Bros. Kirby paint scheme or something like that.
Looking at that replay, it doesn't look like Kirby has too much damage on his machine, so, he still has a little bit of time to go from 18th all the way up towards the front again, so it's not necessarily end's day for Kirby Wainscott in that number 10 machine.
Which is very surprising after he got even more contact, after the initial wreck there. But I will say one thing about these cars versus the new gen. They are able to take so much more of a hit and so much more damage. It's kind of nice that these drivers are able to kind of beat and bang a little bit without being completely DNF'd right off the rip.
Oh, I agree. We should be getting that one to go signal this time by. Barney, you don't need to wave the yellow flag like that anymore, buddy. There you go.
Barney is doing his best life, okay? He is waving that flag really hard and enjoying every minute of it.
Oh, absolutely. And the lights are still on, so we're going to come back green flag racing with 11 laps to go. So we still got a couple more minutes here before we go back green flag. Terry Fennell in that number 50 machine. He's going to be the lucky dog this time. So who are you going to be watching the last 12 laps here?
I'm going to have to go with Kinsley Smith. And possibly even Matt Mettler, as he's been up there towards the front the whole time. But Kinsley Smith is obviously a good choice there as well.
Yeah, definitely a good choice there. I'm going to keep my eye on that number 21 of Mike Hardy in that Budweiser Chevrolet. He's come out here and he's hanging out in the top 5 for majority of this race. So I'm leaning towards with Mike Hardy here in that number 21.
Honestly, the entire top 4 wouldn't be a bad choice here. Timothy Osborne has been doing a really good job up here near the front as well. Barry Nelson working his way back towards the front. I mean, there's just so many good choices. It's really hard to pick because you never know what's going to happen. As you said, we're going to go back green with about 11 to go, and just that's a long time. There could be more rigs. Someone could just anything can happen.
that still gives us 27.5 miles left of racing. So anything can still happen here at Daytona, as the lights will go off on the iRacing Pace Truck this time.
So what do you think? Do we have one more caution, or are we going to go green flag the rest of the way?
I would absolutely love to say we're going to go green the rest of the way, but it's Daytona. And I think we might see a caution maybe within the last 4 laps.
That's fair enough. It would probably come down to like a Green-White-Checkered. Something like that. But these drivers have been doing a hell of a job to put on a show here these past few laps. As you know, there's been a lot of side-by-side racing, and these are definitely not the easiest cars to drive.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely one of the hardest cars to drive, and I don't think we're done with this just yet, because we're getting ready to go back green flag racing.
Yeah, and I think the only car that might be harder than this one would be the 87s, but that's just from a lack of experience, because I haven't, you know, again, haven't really raced these cars, just watched races.
Man, the 87s are such a blast to drive here at Daytona and Talladega.
Oh yeah, as we are going back to the green, Matt Mettler leading us to the green, getting a pretty good jump on that inside line. Outside of Mike Hardy and Timothy Osborne are going to be trying everything they can to get right back around them. Now you're going to see a little bit of a gap between the 15 and the 28. The 57 is going to hop down and fill that up, so that is going to slow down the momentum on the outside.
Yeah, it's
That's
definitely
coming out of 2.
Yeah, definitely going to slow down that momentum just a little bit. That outside lane is not getting formed up as that inside lane does. So Timothy Osborne, he's got a lot of work to do with that number 21 machine of Mike Hardy, as they are now making their way back towards the front, towards the race leaders here, as they are now side by side with Smith, as they will come. Oh, we have caution. Oh,
and
the dirty machine.
That outside line was doing a really good job trying to catch back to the inside, but they got to be very careful with them pushes, as that 21 got pretty loose.
Yeah, Kirby Wayne Scott once again a victim in this incident here. JB Harrison, he's got in trouble here as well. Let's go back. Let's take a look, see what happened as these guys exited turn number 4, going in through turns 3 and 4 here. So that 13 was trying to come up through the middle of Brandon Honeycutt, just not able to make it clear, and he got into the 90 there, who got into that 90 was such a hard hit. Oh, Wayne Scott, he just absolutely got blindsided by the 23 machine of Austin Smith. Man, such a horrible hit and horrible feeling there for Wayne Scott.
Yeah, unfortunately for Wayne Scott there, I think he's kind of getting the short end of the stick, you know, as the reference goes, and just nothing he could do there. He did everything right to try to get around that, and just unfortunately collected.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate there for Wayne Scott. And well, we're gonna rack him up, do it again, and we'll probably go back green flag with maybe just about 7 laps to go. This might give Steve Vest and that number 06 machine the wave around, possibly. Yep, there goes Steve Vest getting one of his laps back. You know, I'm looking through the field here, and I'm trying to think of one driver that does not, or that has not been involved in a wreck. And I believe right now, I think like the top 7, maybe top 10 have not been involved in a wreck so far.
I think Matt's been involved in a wreck. I think Kinsley Smith got one earlier as well.
Truth Hoken, that number 55 machine, he's driven his way back up to that 9th spot.
Yeah, hell of a run by him. And we got Steve Cassell up in the 8th place, up 19 spots as well. It's wild that a lot of these drivers opted not to qualify, and look at them now sitting in the front.
Yeah, definitely, as we now going to line them up. And we're going to go green flag next time by. Mike Hardy and Timothy Eisburn, they're going to need to have a well more coordinated restart this time if they're going to want to make any sort of move on Matt Metler in that number 311 machine.
Oh yeah, 100%, especially with him having the help of Kinsley Smith behind him here. You know, I might be seeing stuff, but did the paint scheme on the 57 change for you?
No. I'm seeing a Cat 5 paint scheme.
Yeah, me as well, but I could have swore it was like yellow earlier for some reason, unless I'm thinking of a different car. But you know, I'm starting to get up there in age, maybe I'm going through like Alzheimer's or something. Anyways.
Well, I know the driver that does drive the yellow car is that one machine with Steve Cassell. And I believe that number 27 is Dwayne Davis as well.
It might be the 27 I'm thinking of then.
All right, let's get this pace truck off and let's do it all over again.
And Kinsley Smith said he was ready to go because he was all over the back bumper of Matt Metler that time, and that inside line is going to rocket forward. 21 looking to potentially get down here as he has absolutely no help on that outside. He's going to try to get down behind 87 here if he is able to do so.
No, that inside lane is just so much quicker right now because there's no help for that outside lane as Eisburn, he's going to go ahead and make it 3 wide. Back here, oh, it got trouble. The one car up, or I'm sorry, up into the outside wall. The 21 is involved. Eisburn, the 711 machine involved as well of Trevor Fatigue. The 83 involved as well. And we're going to go back under caution here once again at Daytona.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if like Osborne came down and got into the one or.
Yeah, looks like I kind of caught just like the back end of this one here. So it looks like it's going to start with Eisburn. It looked like the one actually came up a little bit because he thought he might have been clear on the inside, which obviously, you know, he had Timothy Eisburn and that 21 machine of Mike Hardy. You know, so definitely unfortunate for these drivers back here. As you see the 21 going up airborne just a little bit here, down the 7-Eleven machine. He gets hit once again, and he's going to go towards the outside wall. And he's going to hit it. And as long as Steve Vest and that 06 didn't come to a complete stop, he should be your lucky dog once again this go around. As we're looking at these leaders starting to use that apron, you know, it looks like they're going to try to start saving fuel here once again.
My apologies about that.
Oh, you're good, you're good. Now we're going to go back green flag racing with 3 laps to go, so it's going to be a green, 2 to go, 1 to go, and then the checker.
Green-White-Checkered, sir. No?
Nope. We're going to have 3 laps. See that 06 machine of Steve Vest getting his next way by. That's going to put him 1 lap down, and as long as everything stays as it is, he may get back on the lead lap if we have 1 more caution.
Hey, wouldn't that be a story if somehow he could get back on the lead lap and win this thing?
Oh yeah, that would be something, but he would still have to pass at least 22 cars for that to happen. And unfortunately, these cars are a lot different than when Dale Sr. did it over at Talladega with 5 laps to go.
To be fair, back then, if you wasn't cheating, you wasn't trying.
Don't tell that to Chad Canals. And 1 Daytona 500 comes to mind. Chad Canals gets ejected, and Jimmy Johnson went on to win the Daytona 500 that year anyway, so...
You know, Jimmy Johnson really does not get the credit he deserves.
No, definitely not. You know, and a lot of people, you know, they compare him, you know, obviously they're going to compare him to Dale Earnhardt and, you know, the King, Richard Petty. But, you know, when all 3 drivers got their 7th championship, you know, they all did it in different eras. And that's something a lot of people forget about, you know. The King, Richard Petty, you know, he already won, what, 4, maybe 5 championships already before Senior, you know, made his way into, you know, into the series, you know, and Earnhardt's already won his 7th before Jimmy Johnson even got in it. And then we got introduced to the chase format, you know, so each driver, they won the championship in their own eras. It was all different, yes. But, at the end of the day, they all played it by the rules.
Yeah, but that does mean, all three are the GOATs in their own respective eras.
Absolutely. And I just want to make one thing clear, okay? And ladies and gentlemen, you guys are going to absolutely hate me for this. But if you went back and did it based off of the old Winston Cup point standings, my man Jeff Gordon would have won 7 championships. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Chase Elliott the past few seasons. He's been the points leader going into the playoffs, and then just boom.
Absolutely, and my heart absolutely breaks for Connor Zilic coming into the Xfinity Series, winning 10 races, and just loses it in the final race. My heart absolutely broke. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going back green flag racing right here at Daytona. 3 laps remaining right now. Matt Mettler in that number 311 machine, he is out front. As you see Truth Hoke pushing Aaron Roth on that outside lane, as that outside lane trying to make some form of movement, but they just cannot get themselves together. As the top 2, they will go up. Mettler squeezes down in front of Aaron Roth, I believe, in that number 50. No, I'm sorry. Who was that down to the 42 of Jonathan Stidham? Yeah, as that was a big move there by Matt Mettler, but he will continue to pace this race at this moment, as they are 3 wide behind him back there for right about that 6th or 7th spot. And into the tri-oval they go, 3 wide, 4 deep. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen, 2 laps to go. Barry Nelson, that number 28 machine, finally out front. Truth Hoke, that 55 in the middle. He's trying to sneak his way up through this field as they continue to run 3 wide, 4 deep out of turn number 2. Down this back straightaway, 1 car is ditched, and he's going to fall all the way back. That's going to be the 42 of Jonathan Stidham, as you see Truth Hoke trying to get somewhere, running 3 wide still for that 4th spot. Nobody is helping Truth Hoke as he's starting to fall back. And now that 3rd car in line, Alan Carter, he's going to try to make some movement here on the outside, as we still got movement all around this field. White flag. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it, despite what just happened behind them. We're going to stay right here as you see the carnage behind the 2 car upside down as they come now through turns 3 and 4 with that 57 machine. Aaron Roth to the inside of Barry Nelson. The 37 climbing up, trying to make it 3 wide for the race lead. Alan Carter trying to make it happen. Truth Hoke with him on the outside. Contact in the middle lane as they will fall back. Here comes Andrew Teft out to the outside, trying to get help from that number 23 machine of Smith. As they come out of turn number 3, Carter once again going outside of Teft. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Roth out front. Teft gets turned. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the line. Aaron Roth will win here. No! Austin Smith will take it at the line.
What a...
Whoa! Lord, what a finish. Sorry, guys. Sorry, my love. That was loud. I'm sorry, guys.
I gotta
What?
rewind that before we do anything else.
Okay. Pure mayhem. Austin Smith must be ecstatic in that number 23 machine. Let's go back first and foremost to when we took that white flag. Where is it at? White flag right here. Alright, first, let's break down what happened coming to the line. It looks like the 13 possibly comes up a little bit. Okay, so the 13 goes up, 1 car shoots down. Oh, that actually happened behind them. The 2 and the 83 get sideways in the back. And then the 55 or the 45 pinches the 55 of Hoke. No, I think that was later on. Yeah, that was later on. I'm sorry. So let's jump over here to the 2 of Mike Fudge, who gets absolutely annihilated by the 15 of Kensley Smith. And that sends the 2 car on his roof. And let's see. Yeah, the 2 car will end up back on his wheels. He will start to pull away. Let's go catch that number 55 of Truth Hoke here on the back straightaway. A lot of movement there from that inside lane. As you see, Timothy Eisburn makes a little contact with the 28 of Barry Nelson. Nelson was able to hold it. And then you see the 98 of Andrew Teft make a run on the outside of the 57 of Aaron Roth. Cars behind them are 3 wide, and that's with the 28. Yeah, so here we go. So the 28, the 311, and Hoke all right there. Just a bad push from the 13 sends the 28 down the track just a little bit. Metler comes back up into Nelson. So they get it all sorted out. And then the 37 of Alan Carter, he makes a run to the outside to take it 3 wide for second. Teft, he gets drilled by the 28 of Nelson. And Nelson goes down into Metler. So that turns the 98 to the outside lane. And then look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if I can have a good view of this. And we're going to pause it. A little too far. And again, too far. I could have sworn that the 57 had it. Oh yeah, this is going to be good view right here. As they come into the tri-oval, the 57 of Aaron Roth has it. Then the 23 uses the side draft to slow down Roth, and that will launch him to the race win, thanks to the side draft. Dakota.
Man.
That was an absolute wild couple laps.
Yeah, there was so much going on that we just did not have time to cover it all, but holy cow. These drivers definitely put on a show for the closing laps.
All right, yes, and as of right now, we have Aaron Roth, our second place finisher, down there. Barry Nelson. Oh, there he is. He's down in Misfits. So if you want to drag a Barry up here as well.
Give me one.
Nope. He just did. He just move up here to. No, I think he just disconnected. All right. Well,
alrighty.
Aaron
Roth it is.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and get this thing set up here. That far back, but all right, let's go ahead and get Aaron Roth up here in the booth.
Aaron, it's Mike and Dakota up in the booth. You got a copy? Looks like he is deafened at the moment. Oh, there he is.
Hey, guys,
my mic's not very good. If you can't hear me, then just tell me and I'll go.
You know, it sounds a little weird, but we'll work with it, buddy. Don't worry about it. So you come
All
home
right.
P2. How do you feel, man?
I'll tell you what, I feel pretty good because I accidentally used my fast repair on the first caution.
Oh,
And I was a little
wow.
worried.
I don't
'Cause I
blame
don't
you a
have my
bit.
spotter tonight, and she usually takes care of that, and I forgot about it. So,
What would you have done differently there in the closing laps? As there was a lot of action going on everywhere, and I'm, now that you got a chance to think about it, what would you have done differently?
well, I do not like the low side, but I had to go there because I was out front. I like to be in the second lane or the third lane so you can get runs and pass people. So that's what happened. I was on the bottom side and people were going around. So I would have been up in the second or third lane.
Fair enough. Mike, you got any questions for him right quick? Mike?
Sorry about that.
All
I
right.
just muted. Yeah, Aaron, what an incredible run for you today in that number 57 Cat 5 Chevrolet. You know, I could have sworn you had it there at the line, and then, Austin Smith, he used, that wonderful thing called side draft to slow you down just enough to catch you at the line. What were your thoughts, coming out of turn number 4, and just, did you think that you were going to be able to beat him to the line, or, are you not surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. I knew I was a sitting duck there because I would have done the same thing. Following somebody in second place, you go on the outside there and you go right around him. As soon as I seen him do that, it's like, oh no, I don't have anybody behind me. Andrew gave me a push coming with 1 to go. He gave me a little bump that got me up to who was that? Barry Nelson. And then there's nothing you can do about it. They get a run side draft, and then if you don't have no help, you're just hanging on, and hopefully they can. I kind of bumped him at the line and then tried to slow him down, but it didn't work.
All right. And before we let you go today, Aaron, is there anybody that you would like to thank?
Yeah, just my Cat 5 crew, Chaos crew, my Twitch stream, and everybody, my family, friends who all watch, and heck yeah, and I am missing my spotter. She didn't have her iRacing downloaded.
Shame. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah. So, but that's all right. We'll keep going. This will be good for points, and move on to the next race.
Yeah, 2 weeks we head over to Charlotte Motor Speedway in the mini stock. So definitely looking forward to that fun race out there. So congratulations
that'll
here.
Be fun. Yep.
Congratulations here on your second place finish, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, thanks.
Happy Thanksgiving, sir. So we're not going to see you next week.
Yes, you too. You guys too. Yep. And everybody.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, driver of that Cat 5 Chevy, driver of the number 57, Aaron Roth. Let's go ahead and get our race winner. Driver of that number 23 machine of Austin Smith.
You got a coffee, Austin?
Yeah, I got you guys. How's it going?
Going pretty good, man. Congratulations on your win. And what a way to get it is that, you had a little bit of a drag race to the end there, but I'm going to let Mike take over the questions. He is a little bit better, and let y'all have it.
All right. Austin, again, congratulations on your race win here at Daytona in that number 23 machine. Coming down the back straightaway, you're 3 wide with the 28 there of Barry Nelson, Truth Hoke onto his outside, and then the 37 machine. What were you thinking coming down the back straightaway, and then all of a sudden seeing Andrew Teff get turned? What were your thoughts coming off of turn 4?
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't believe that I was actually in that position at all. The race was kind of scuffed most of the race. I was in the back and just kind of waiting it out, but somehow I saw it open up, and I got behind Aaron and tried to just push him as far as I could, and then finally, once I got clear of Andrew on the outside, I was able to jump up there, and obviously you'd get a little bit better run if you're the second place car there. So just took it and happy with the result. Couldn't believe it, really.
Yeah, coming to the line, I could have sworn up and down. I even called it, Aaron Roth won it. And then I looked back at the chart, but your name popped up, and I looked back, and you had him by a nose. Just because that last, 1,000 feet, you were behind, but you used that side draft to your advantage, and it just rocketed you right in front of Roth. So how did that work out, in your mind? Did you plan it that way, or is it that just one of the things that just happens at Daytona?
Well, I was listening to one of my teammates, Brandon. He was kind of in my ear telling me, shoot the bottom, and it was just kind of like a last-minute decision. I didn't think I have enough room on the bottom there, so I just jumped to the high side. And obviously, it's a longer way around, but I had a big enough run, and was able to hold them back just enough to get the win. So definitely pleased with it. Couldn't ask for anything better, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we send it over for you to send out your thanks, Dakota, do you have any questions for Austin?
I don't necessarily have any questions, but again, congratulations on the win and hell of a job avoiding the wrecks there on the last few laps and getting it done, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Also, happy Thanksgiving, as we're not going to see you next week.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a driver of that airlift number 23 Chevrolet, Austin Smith, your race winner here at Daytona International Speedway. As we're taking a look here, coming to the start-finish line, right here is still in Aaron Roth's hands. And then as soon as they hit the banking, Austin Smith will come and take the race win just like that, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to the line, very close. Just an absolute incredible finish to this race. We had 6 cautions, I believe, here today, which that's actually something I can actually look at thanks to SDK and their amazing overlays that they provide us. Let me find that button real quick. Oh, that's up here.
I just want to take a moment to go ahead and shout out Andrew Teth for putting all these events on. Y'all get to watch weekly. I think he's got a little bit going on right now, but I just want to tell him that, these have been some very exciting races to broadcast, and I think he's doing a hell of a job keeping this place running. So keep your head up, man, and look forward to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just all around, what a incredible day here at Daytona. Andrew, thank you so much for putting this on. Just like Dakota said, we know that you dropped so much tears and sweat into making this baby run, and without you, we couldn't be able to provide all this for you. But thank you so much, Andrew. Hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations once again to Austin Smith in that number 23 machine. Don't forget, there will be no Friday night full send Speedway racing due to Thanksgiving, so you guys have yourself a wonderful Thanksgiving. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time when we take our mini stocks over to Charlotte Motor Speedway. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, remember this. No matter what you do in life, make sure you have fun doing it. All right, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mike Taylor up in the booth with my really great friend Dakota LaRue, and we will see you guys 2 weeks at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Good time zones.
With a head of steam moving to the outside his chin, Richie says it can't be done. Tony Shallen says turn on the reggae music. If you're gonna pass me, you're gonna do it high.
There is just one more lap remaining, and look how close Rudolph is. He got the slipstream.
There we go. 2 laps to settle it in the Blue Emu Firecracker 400. Whatever you got to give it now. Back to green we go.
On the final lap, side by side, they still run wheel to wheel. Now, through the snake, the S as we go. Quaro edges ahead. Modov is still there.
White flag, one more to go on the Daytona 250. Kepler leads that lap. Who's going to lead the last one?
To the line. Look at that. Dave Chapman, he's going to send it around the outside final corner. Has he got it done?
Continuing to go side by side for the lead through 3 and 4, and they manage it safely. Now through 5.
And hunting for a way by it all.
side.
Round 2 between Phil Sellinger and Gold.
To the outside. White flag is out, side by side. They make contact in the turn number 1. Ooh, gets onto the grass now, down to the inside. Andy T, a little bit of a wiggle and the perfect crossover there from Paulie Portson to defend the position. Andy T totally sideways. They're still sideways going into Siberia.
And getting ready to cross, he goes around the outside, but it's not enough.
Eden's up the racetrack. Car broke down the track. A photo